The modern institution that is Brunel University can trace its origins back and is named after the famous Victorian engineer. Brunel's many Today, Brunel enjoys an international reputation for research, which draws students from all over the world. And in addition, produces outstanding graduates in the fields of social sciences, education, and the arts, to name but a few. Students studying at any one of Brunel's 4 campuses benefit from the very best in teaching provision and research facilities, and enjoy a lively social life and leisure facilities.
They join groups with people who have that experience. They can see what can be achieved. The people that have achieved that can feed back to them.
As Vice-Chancellor of Brunel University, it's my very pleasant task to draw to a close reminders of university life shown on this video. I hope that you take with you happy memories of your time at Brunel. Please keep in touch. You will always be welcome at any of our 4 campuses, whether renewing old acquaintances or discussing further studies. Now it's time to reminisce further as you watch a replay of your degree congregation and award ceremony. My congratulations and best wishes to you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I declare the congregation open.
Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the University, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the degree and award ceremonies for the School of Business and Management. We are here today to celebrate achievement. Every student that has a degree or award conferred on them today fully deserves our warmest congratulations. Today is rightly their day. It is also a day for the students' parents, and in some cases for partners and children. It is, though, a day of great sadness for one family with us today, as I have to report that one student who should have been here today, Nimisha Patel, was tragically killed earlier this year by a hit-and-run driver. Nimisha's family is here with us today. On behalf of the university, I extend our deepest condolences to them. I hope they are able to share a little of the joy, pride, and sense of achievement of others present in this hall. Before I ask the heads to come forward to present the students to you, Chancellor, I thought it would be interesting to compare the Brunel of today with the Brunel of the past. In 1966, the university received its charter. The plan was to establish a university with about 3,500 students. Within 10 years, we had achieved this. In a report in 1978, the university asked for extra government money to grow by a modest amount. Little did the people behind that report realise what the future held. Today, Brunel has over 12,000 students. The Faculty of Social Sciences, one of the university's 5 faculties, is about as big as the whole university was planned to be. A decade ago, there was just one ceremony for the faculty. This year, there are 4. This is the 3rd one we've had today, and there is one tomorrow. 10 years ago, 150 students in the faculty were presented degrees by the then Chancellor, Lord Halsbury. Today and tomorrow, Chancellor, you will have presented nearly 1,000 degrees, a remarkable increase in productivity. This increase in students has not been at the expense of teaching quality. External assessors to judge the quality of its teaching and the learning environment for students have visited the faculty over the last few years. And I'm happy to report that such visits have confirmed the high standards of education that we set ourselves. The increase in students has not been at the expense of research either. In the last research assessment exercise, an exercise designed to measure the research quality of academic subjects in universities, found that research quality in the faculty had gone up since the last exercise. The increase in students has been supported by new student and staff accommodation. In recent years, the extension to the original social science building has been opened, and this year we opened the new arts and social science building on this campus. The government has confirmed this maintenance of high academic standards when in a year when many similar universities faculties were not given extra undergraduate places, we were. Lastly, Chancellor, it's all right having all these places, but what if no one wants to come to take them up? Since October, the faculty has received over 6,000 applications for undergraduate places. What this means is that for every place, there are 12 students chasing it. To those of you that are about to graduate, I'm sure you'll be taking away from Brunel many things. You will have met people here that will become lifelong friends, or in some cases partners. You will have stretched your minds in ways you would not have thought possible before you started the course. You will have listened, spoken, read, and written an awful lot. You will have struggled successfully, as we know now, with exams at the time seemed fiendishly difficult, set by these people to test you out. Remember though, education is not the filling of a pail. It is the lighting of a fire. This fire should burn brightly and fiercely throughout your life. It is something that you have fashioned for yourself. It is something you have made your own. This fire will burn brightly throughout your lives. Before I ask Professor Sims to present the students to you, Chancellor, I'm reminded about Albert Einstein was once asked to open a degree congregation, and he stood up and said, "I do not have any particular thoughts to express today, so I wish you all the success in the future," and promptly sat down. This very short speech disappointed his audience, who were waiting for something more from the great scientist, some insights, some knowledge he was going to give them. But it did have one great advantage. On a day like this, where it's incredibly hot, it did mean we could move on quickly. I now call upon Professor Sims to present the students to you, Chancellor.
Chancellor, on behalf of Senate, I present to you the persons shown in the programme to be admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science in subjects offered by the School of Business and Management, combined with other subjects offered within the Integrated Degree Scheme.
By virtue of my authority as Chancellor, I admit them to their degrees.
Natalie Catherine Waller. Matthew James Winnie. Katie Sarah Walsh. Harmeet Kaur Panesa. Gareth Scott Manning. Rahel Anjam Masi. Matthew Barker. Ian Paul Millard. Pooja Mansigani. Donald Stanley Robertson. Tina Simona Das. Alicia Michelle Flemings. Benjamin Christian Lindsay. Robert Stephen Lewis. Andrew Thompson. Hiram Saraf. Christopher Edward Lawrenson. Alina Davis, Richard James Bunn, well done. Sabah Khan, well done. Simon Edward Lang, well done. Obina Opara, well done. Lydia Roberts, well done. Balraj Singh Sandhu, well done. Siobhan Teague, well done. Anupreet Virk, congratulations. Aziz Parvez Ahmed, well done. Piklu Badia, congratulations. Sanjeev Banga, well done. Marek John Bendel, well done. Erminda Kaur Garg, well done. Kevin John Gillett, well done. Javed Iqbal, well done. Parbinder Kaur, well done. Paul Anthony Kavanagh, well done. Serena Ashok Kira, congratulations. Sona Kotecha, congratulations. Hari Haran Krishnadasan, congratulations. Pangying Purdi Kum, Gurjit Kaur Nagra, well done. Thomas Alexander Knott, well done. Olubunmi Mojisola Odukurale, Babatunde Ogundei, well done. Avni Soraykant Patel, well done. Sangeeta Sachdeva, well done. Rajiv Navin Thaka, well done. Rajiv Thakiria, well done. Baljit Kaur Thethi, well done. Benga Gabrielle John, Sunday Jeffrey Kissingara, well Ikneet Kaur Sani, Daphne Melissa Thompson, Daksha Badwa, Gangabei Dulab, Rishiman Kohli, Sunita Larkinpool, Meeta Patel, Satwant Kaur Sandhu, Adil Virani, Figar Omoteyu Williams, Marina Zia, Bernadette Marie Anderson, Beverly Campbell, Jonathan Evoy, Taib Haj Lakahal, Penelope Ho, Stuart Spencer Law, J. Anilkuma Mamtora, Tara Patel, Andrea Jane Riggs, Mohammed Rashid Mohammed Ahmed,
Congratulations.
Nicholas Blake,
Well done.
Gloria Asokwa Broby,
Congratulations.
Shahida Chowdhury,
Congratulations.
Jay Shri Arvind Dutia, Gemma Mary Healy,
Well done.
Rajni Jaswal,
Well done.
Sukhdeep Johal,
Congratulations.
Olivia Keats,
Congratulations.
Imran Hussain Khan,
Congratulations.
Hamish Mohan Khanna,
Well done.
Adamola Olufemi Oludami Lapite, Manjit Lota, Caroline Sandra Nkunira Mumbojania, Ismatara Begum Monan, Natanel Okube, Angela Palalei, Nilesh Parma, Sanya Radonagic, Susan Jennifer Reeves, Manjinder Kaur Samra, Jasmine Kaur Soane, Chaitan Shah, Fadel El Ahmed, Sandra Day, Ahmad Muhana, Dermot Michael O'Doherty, Jatinder Singh Sahans, Clifton Nigel Elton Knoll, Benjamin James Spickenell, David Anthony Smith, Richard William Asplin, Alistair William Carpenter, Simon Robert Frederick Clasby, William John Frank Drage, Gareth David Johns, Andrew Paul Mortimer, Malcolm Roy Payton, Christopher Michael Redding, Adrian Simons, Yakin Yusuf, Margaret Mary Alexander, Atafe Pavisian, Rana Bhattacharya, Gerald William Murray, Neil Elliott Arnold, Ian Birdsey, Gordon Pownell, Paulette Elvira Graham, Sheila Koshi Nanka Bruce, Ronald Nganwa, Darshani Savania, Ali Matu Medifa Sesay, Chi Yin Yung, Basirat Abiodun Eyabode Laisisi, James Andrew Pitts, Martin Chain, Vincent Pippett, Shweta Rajani, Jonathan Paul Long, Dawn Louise Shillingford, Sean Michael Sims, Victoria Catherine Warren, Alan Williams, Christopher John Hall, Jason Stewart Page, Mark Bruce, Andrew Paul Corbin, William Alexander Crispin, Alistair Charles Cubitt, Kate Gemma Edwards, Richard John Pearson, Laura Jane Prosser, Gillian Clare Rigby, Robert Marcel Thompson, Darren Alexander Dunlop. Well done. Chancellor, I present those receiving the Higher National Diploma in Business, Business Information Technology, Business and Finance, Computing Information Systems, and Computing Multimedia Production. Kunbi Deborah Arajoji.
Congratulations.
Priya Babuta.
Congratulations.
Hattie Simen.
Congratulations.
Alison Lisa Collins.
Well done.
Colin Neil Crumlish.
Congratulations.
Jan Louise Deasy.
Well done.
Sandeep Dar.
Well done.
Diana Florence Gay.
Well done.
Nigel William Grinstead.
Congratulations.
Shazia Hussain.
Congratulations.
Zeki Ibrahim.
Congratulations.
Robert Stephen Allen Johnson.
Well done.
Afzal Khan.
Well done.
Rizaila Khan.
Well done.
Chaya Patel.
Congratulations.
Fiona Natalie Rowbottom.
Well done.
Angela Sharma.
Well done.
Vinita Sharma.
Well done.
Saranjit Sond.
Well done.
Ziad Fahmi Sulaiman.
Congratulations.
Fenil Taylor.
Well done.
Douglas Freddie Walton.
Well done.
Junaid Shahid Bukhari.
Well done.
Kim Joanne Brown.
Congratulations.
Glyn Keith Faulding.
Well done.
Haifa Meidich Maid.
Congratulations.
Gavin Scott Holdstock.
Well done.
Hanif Mehdi Hussein Karachawala.
Well done.
Pravin Laxman Kimji.
Well done.
Komila Kriya.
Well done.
Maya Lakhani,
Well done.
Yen Lee,
Well done.
Alex McTaggart,
Well done.
Catherine Murray,
Well done.
Hitesh Patel,
Congratulations.
Komal Patel,
Congratulations.
Soneya Patel,
Well done.
Umesh Solik,
Congratulations.
Asimran Singh Sethi,
Well done.
Amarjit Singh Tamba,
Well done.
Andila Zamurad,
Well done.
Richard Anthony Bliner Barnes,
Well done.
Ketna Baya,
Congratulations.
Andrew James Brown,
Congratulations.
Roland Corentin,
Well done.
Marilyn Jennifer Curzon,
Well done.
David Michael Dunkley,
Well done.
Aisha Hussain,
Well done.
Kay Jackson,
Well done.
Lisa Patel,
Congratulations.
Safaraz Ahmed Saeed,
Congratulations.
Sukhminder Singh Sandhu,
Congratulations.
Louis Daniel Schreibke,
Congratulations.
Priya Solanki, Ashok Vakaria,
Congratulations.
Henry Yip,
Well done.
Nasreen Ali,
Well done.
Vimal Dalal,
Well done.
Chetan Masuria, Bushra Kuma Mirza.
Well done.
Iram Mirza.
Well done.
Anna van Nguyen. Nimisha Pal.
Well done.
David Purusutam Persod.
Well done.
Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I present to you the persons shown in the programme to be admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of my authority as Chancellor, I admit them to their degrees.
For research into the relationship between the assessment of managers and their learning, Lawrence Philip Solkin.
Well, congratulations. Well done. Well done.
For research into experiential learning, Zen experience and personal transformation, Mary Miller Thomas.
Congratulations.
David Neve. My Lord and Chancellor, David Neve was Secretary General and Registrar at this university from 1980 to 1998. In that role, as head of the administration of the university, he exerted an enormous influence on Brunel's activities, its shape and direction, 18 years. David was educated at Hitchin Grammar School, as were two other very recent honorary graduates. From school, he went to Southampton University to read law and graduated with a very good honours degree in 1960. It seems that David was reluctant to leave the academic life. He won a Fulbright travelling scholarship and a Ford Foundation fellowship to attend Tulane University, New Orleans, where he gained an LLM degree in 1961. Having taken the degree of master, David was invited at Tulane to undertake research for a PhD. Had he taken this route, he would probably have become an academic lawyer in the United States. Instead, he returned to the United Kingdom to establish his career. Not a good start. From 1961 to 62, he was a graduate trainee at the Westminster Bank. In reality, he says, a clerk with a university tie. From 1962 to 64, David worked for the British Council, developing the Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship Plan. He described this as a nice life, but again he moved job, but this time to find exactly the right career path. He went as an administrator to the University of East Anglia. Then, from 1969 to 1980, David worked at the University of Liverpool. In those days, Liverpool was a hothouse for the development of administrators. Many of David's contemporaries there went on to become university registrars. David himself gained experience and steady promotion from sub-dean to assistant registrar and finally administrative secretary. Enjoyable as Liverpool was, the time had come for a top job, and David came to Brunel as Secretary General and Registrar. At the time of his appointment to Brunel, he was the youngest registrar in any UK university. Shortly after his appointment, the first of the funding cuts so common nowadays beset the educational world. Brunel was faced with a massive 15% cut in funding and with 3 years in which to implement the economies. Brunel then had no financial reserves at all. With the then Vice-Chancellor, David Neve achieved a restructuring of the university in 1 year and the establishment of a new financial policy to ensure that Brunel would never be so financially vulnerable again. In his role as Secretary General, David Neave had strong views about most things, and this ensured that working with him was always interesting. Personally decisive, David took decisions and saw them through to their conclusions. He disliked greatly the tendency in so many universities to set up working parties and committees at the first appearance of any minor problems. Indeed, at Brunel he found far too many committees for his liking, so he took an axe to the formal committee structure and slimmed it down ruthlessly. He believed that academic staff time was better employed in teaching and research than in sitting in committees. Indeed, his view of committees tended towards the definition: a committee is a group of people who individually can do nothing, but who are able collectively to conclude that nothing can be done. As committee secretaries were members of the university's administrative staff, and therefore ultimately responsible to him, David, I think, always also wished to protect them from such fates as that which befell one committee secretary, needless to say from another university, who sent her to a committee member who had tendered his apologies for a meeting
majority of 7 votes to 5.
David wanted continuously to improve the university, to develop a service culture, to make it responsive, in short, to bring about change. He realized that universities are conservative by instinct, that respect for academic tradition can sometimes lead to the adoption of the status quo as the only possible basis for future development strategy. So as financial and marketing pressures grew steadily over the 80s and the 90s, David continuously counseled for change and development. Many universities at that time had an overdeveloped sense of importance and an underdeveloped sense of competition. David Neave ensured that at Brunel, complacency just didn't have a chance. David's other achievements over 18 years at Brunel
are too numerous to list, but some key ones are
the creation of Science Park under the university's total control, the incorporation of the West London Institute of Higher Education into Brunel University, the continuous improvement of the physical environment of the university, and the development of the cultural life of Brunel through such means as collecting paintings, bringing to Brunel, as quartets in residence, first the Mystery Quartet and then the Maggini String Quartet. Though he worked hard and long at Brunel, David maintained broad other professional and personal interests. He was for 5 years the chairman of the International Meeting of University Administrators, chairing conferences in Singapore, Prague, and Cape Town. He is a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, and after his retirement from Brunel, went to New College, Oxford, as a visiting fellow to devote time to writing. David is extremely knowledgeable about music, especially opera, about
wine and food,
porcelain, and wildlife conservation. He is also a formidable performer of readings and poetry and occasionally song. Throughout his career at Brunel, David never lost sight of the purposes of universities. He maintained always a clear, coherent, and intellectually rigorous vision of the purposes of higher education, of research, of scholarship, and of their place in the modern world. His sharing of that vision with his colleagues was a source of challenge to us all. For his commitment to Brunel, his contribution to the shaping of this institution over nearly 2 decades, for his achievements for this university and its good reputation, and for those qualities which have engendered, among those with whom worked, the deepest respect and affection, Chancellor, I present to you David Neave for the degree of Doctor of Laws of the University, honoris causa.
By virtue of my authority as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
My Lord and Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, life occasionally provides great flashes of revelation. And in the past 5 minutes, I have suddenly realized why I am so difficult to live with. Towards the end of June, one or two honorary graduands would telephone me to ask what they should say on the day. The answer was easy. Thank the university, say something to the families, and something to the graduates. Had I known I was going to be standing here one day, I might have given it all a bit more thought. Of course, I thank the university for the great honor it has done me. But even more, I thank it for 18 fascinating and stimulating years, sometimes frustrating, occasionally irritating, now and again exciting, but never, never boring. I want to thank the departmental heads within the administration who gave me so much support, Chris Ives, my secretary, who put up with my sometimes quite unreasonable demands without flinching, and especially Sheila Claydon, my assistant registrar, who has an inexhaustible fund of good ideas and frequently prevented me from making a complete fool of myself. I know better than most just how complex and difficult organizing a degree congregation is. And now I can say that at Brunel we do it rather well. To Juliet Wheel and to Liz Woodward and their team, congratulations. With the families of the graduates, I have every sympathy. Been there, done that. Having a son who graduated with a debt that made the cost of the Millennium Dome look trivial, and a daughter who chose a 5-year course, I can share with you the worries and the ups and downs that are a built-in part of the experience. But I can also share the terrific feeling of relief and pride that today brings. It was all worth it, wasn't it? At this point, the honorary graduate then says to the graduates that they had to work for their degrees, whereas he or she didn't. They are therefore so much more deserving. I'm not sure I buy that. What really differentiates me from you is that it only took you 3 or 4 years. It took me 18, and even then I couldn't manage to get honours. Since I retired last summer, I've been working a day a week at Whipsnade Wildlife Park as a volunteer. In fact, I've been there this morning. I now know why elephants have such big ears, what the difference is between a black, a white, and an Indian rhinoceros, what the chances are for the survival of the Siberian tiger, and what habitat destruction is all about. I'm currently reading a book written by a Soviet army general who became a historian about the Soviet leaders from Lenin through to Gorbachev. When I finish that, I start on trying to get to grips with 20th century Western art. But I can't really grasp the theory of relativity and the various theories of time. The workings of the Eurobond market are a total mystery. The more I learn, the greater is my realization that I actually know virtually nothing. And that is very frustrating. With knowledge comes understanding, and the growing realization that the world we inhabit is immensely diverse and totally absorbing. And above all, there is the sheer enjoyment and pleasure which it all brings. Lifelong learning is one of the buzz phrases of the 90s. I don't much like buzz phrases as a rule, but that one is spot on. Making a success of your career is vitally important. That will take a great deal of time and energy, and so it should. I wish you well. But take a little time, and take it regularly, to find out about the world around you. The rewards are enormous. Don't leave it as long as I have. My Lord Chancellor, thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to see so many here today to support the last graduates of the Millennium from the School of Business and Management. Welcome to you all, and I hope you are enjoying the occasion. I just want to say a few words, but they are words of great praise for all of you. For those who are graduating, whether for the first or the second time, and those who are here with you. For one thing we all share in common is that we have all come here to honor learning and scholarship. And today we salute all those of you who are graduating and applaud everything you have achieved. To each and every one of you, I offer my most sincere and warm congratulations on behalf of the university. I know that you would also want me, on your behalf, to thank all those who have supported you during your time here. Your parents, friends, and teachers. This is a day for them as well. As you may know, I only became your Chancellor last year. This is therefore my second year of congregations and the end of my first full academic year as Chancellor of the University. And I have to tell you, the enthusiasm which accompanies a new job, even at my age, has never worn off. If anything, I feel more pride in this great university as each month goes by. That is partly because as I go around the country fulfilling a number of different roles, recently, for instance, during my chairmanship of the Royal Commission on the Reform of the House of Lords, I meet more and more people who have come from Brunel and who have achieved a great deal as a result of the education they have received here. All those I have met who have graduated from here have agreed with me that a degree from Brunel is a very special thing. I hope, too, that you will find it not just a well-deserved memento of a happy time here among friends, but also a passport to a lifetime of learning and success in the next century. It certainly should be, because it comes from a university whose reputation and influence has grown over the past few years. Let us just look back for one moment over the last year and remind ourselves of what happened in and around Brunel. In the autumn, the prestigious contract for the BSc in Occupational Therapy was renewed for a further 5 years from the year 2000, reflecting the high esteem in which Brunel is held in the National Health Service and in the quality of its graduates. On the sports field, Brunel retained the Halifax Busa University's championship for the 4th year running. Testimony yet again to the work of the Faculty of Professional Education and Sports Sciences. It was announced that a new research centre in social anthropology would be established here from next September, with seed corn funding from the Royal Anthropological Institute, another string to the bow of the Faculty of Social Sciences. During the winter, the School of Business and Management, as you all well know, opened its new facility for research students on the Uxbridge campus, widening still further our expertise and reputation in that field. The school also continued its important work on lifelong learning, successfully placing graduates for work experience in small and medium enterprises. Colleagues from the Department of Mechanical Engineering won the prestigious Caleb Brett Award for a paper, which I must admit I haven't studied in detail, on the effect of aromatic hydrocarbons on soot formation. With spring came more success in sports, with our athletes kicking off 1999 in style by winning men's and women's events in a meeting in Birmingham, while one of our physiotherapy lecturers was invited by the British Olympic Association to Slovakia to accompany the British team to the European Youth Olympic Winter Competition. There was also the news that the Department of Information Systems and Computing would host the 6th European Conference on Information Technology, a fitting tribute to our world-class expertise in this area. And we opened the Gaskell Building, a new centre for the arts and social sciences. And on top of all that, we were successful in obtaining additional student numbers from the Funding Council, which led to the launch of a major new course in multimedia technology and design. And then with the summer, well, I could go on all day, but I simply wanted to give particularly our visitors a flavour of the enormous amount that this university achieves year in and year out, and to remind all those of you who are graduating what a success story you have been part of and always will be. It is part of a success story acknowledged not just by us, but by the outside world, as the excellent audit report on our quality processes and standard of degrees made clear this year. And it is a record of success that we will be seeking to consolidate and to build upon, even at a time when the pressures on university funding are so acute. In September, we will open Fleming Hall, the result of a £7.8 million investment, offering 380 new bedrooms for future students. And we have plans for a new Students' Union entertainments building, a new careers library, more shops, and a library extension. And I hope, too, that many of you will remember that in many ways your formal education is just a start to the process of lifetime learning. We hear, and we have heard, a great deal about lifetime learning, and indeed here at Brunel we do a lot to put it into practice. But as someone who is grappling with the joys of the internet and of electronic mail, I have to say that lifetime learning is not just likely to be an accessory in your future, it is likely to be essential for your future. Grab whatever opportunities come your way with both hands. Indeed, I'd like to think that some of you will come back to Brunel as part of that process of lifetime learning, perhaps as part of one of our continuing professional development courses, or on one of our more formal master's and doctoral research. But then I hope many of you would not need too much coaxing to return, not least because you all know so much about the strengths of Brunel, and in particular of the department from which you graduated. This afternoon, 249 of you have graduated from the School of Business and Management. In the last year, the school has achieved a great deal, not least fully merging the resources of the former Department of Management Studies and the West London Business School. The new school has nearly 50 staff, 2 campuses, making it the biggest school in Brunel. Enormous opportunities await the newly structured school, both internally, at a national level, and at an international level. Congratulations to you all on your achievements and on the way you are building for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates.
I am no classical scholar, but I have to tell you that I have been transfixed
by the passage from Virgil's greatest of poems, where the poet in the underworld foretells the fate of the Romans. Some, I doubt not, will beat out the breathing bronze with more gentle lines. Others shall draw forth from marble the features of life. Some shall plead their causes better, or with their rod trace the paths of heaven and foretell the rising of the stars. And you, Romans, remember, it is your task to rule the nations with your sway and crown peace with law. These words should remind us all that we each have a different role in life, different tasks to perform, different mountains to climb, different heights to conquer. But whatever life holds in store, all of you here today set out on your own path with a great gift, your degree from this university. So take pride in it because you deserve to. You will find it of enormous value and a qualification which will stand scrutiny and comparison with the best in this country or overseas. And keep it up to date by continuing to learn in the way you've done with distinction during your time here. So,
on behalf of the university, well done to you all.
Keep in touch, and good luck in everything you set out to achieve. We will watch your progress with interest and with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare the congregation closed.